Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen auf meinem YouTube-Kanal German Made Easy from Scratch. Ich heiße Louise und ich unterrichte seit über 40 Jahren, eine Ewigkeit. Aber ich bin Lehrerin, und zwar Deutschlehrerin von Beruf. Und heute habe ich vor, die Konjunktionen mit Nebensätzen durchzuführen. Zum Beispiel Konjunktionen wie wenn, wann, als, wie und so weiter. So, wenn ihr diese Konjunktionen mit Nebensätzen lernen wollt, bleibt dabei. Okay, alles klar, ich erkläre das alles auf Englisch, damit viele von euch mich verstehen könnt. So, my name is Louise and I've been teaching German for over 40 years now. Yes, indeed, an absolute eternity, forever. And my aim for today is to go through these conjunctions with subordinating clauses. It sounds very complicated, but not really when you actually get down to it. But if you want to learn these conjunctions and with me, and I'll do it slowly so that you pick up on and give you time to take photographs if you need, just stick around. Okay, so Konjunktionen mit Nebensätzen. Remember, if you would do me a favor, if you haven't already done so, because 300 of you, or 302 now, have already subscribed to my channel. Anyone who hasn't subscribed or hasn't liked or given me the thumbs up, or anyone who hasn't written in the commentaries, please do so. Okay, so los geht's. Konjunktionen mit Nebensätzen. Look at what wenn does. That means wenn meaning if or whenever das Wetter schlecht ist. The verb goes to the end and then fahre ich mit dem Bus. And that literally means whenever or if the weather is bad, I go by bus. Ich bleibe zu Hause, weil ich krank bin. Stay at home because I'm ill. Geh ins Bett, damit du dich erholst. Go to bed so that you can get better. So you can see how frequently you actually could use these. Here we are, have my list. I divide them in two first so that you can get a photograph of them because it's quite a large list. Als ob, bevor, bis, da, damit, das, falls, in dem, nachdem, ob. Get a photograph there now if you can. Now, next one. Obgleich, obwohl. They both mean the same. Ohne das, seitdem, sobald, so dass, während, wenn, wie. Right, can you get a photograph of all of those? Maybe done as far as there to there. Take a photograph. And then down here. Take a photograph. That might help you if you have it on your phone or you're walking your dog or you actually record yourself saying them when you're walking your dog, you can hear it, so it's not too bad. But you have to hear them often and get them into your vocabulary, get them into use mainly because I find that if you use them, it's a lot easier to learn and helps with memory as well. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with the ones that are used the most and the ones that crop up most in my daily work with my students. When in English is whenever or if. It doesn't mean when at all. So be careful there. It means whenever or if. It is also used in repeated action in the past tense and also means if or whenever. So repeated actions in the present or the imperfect tense. Ich bleibe zu Hause, wenn ich krank bin. Now that means I stay at home whenever I am ill. Ich blieb zu Hause, wenn ich krank war. I stayed at home or I used to stay at home whenever I was ill. You could easily say, wenn ich krank bin, there's my verb there at the end of my statement and my comma comes next. So that's my first part. So now the next part is considered my second idea. So then the verb must come next. Bleibe ich zu Hause. We'd say, wenn ich krank war. That means whenever I was ill, that's my first idea. My second idea must always be my verb. Blieb ich zu Hause. The rest I've done. Ich fahre mit dem Bus zur Schule. I go by bus to school. Wenn das Wetter schlecht ist. Now you can see this after when, meaning if or whenever, the verb is here at the very end. It throws the verb to the end. Even this way, wenn das Wetter schlecht ist, there's your verb there, look at it, position of it. And then my second idea, fahre ich mit dem Bus. So wenn will throw the verb to the end of a statement, which can be either a comma or a full stop. You can see it here with the full stop, and it's here with the comma. Whichever decision you make. Do you understand me? Versteht ihr? Ich fuhr mit dem Bus zur Schule, wenn das Wetter schlecht war. I traveled by bus to school, or I used to travel to bus, a continuous action in the past, whenever or if the weather was bad. So then my whenever, mean when, and my verb is here at the end. Or I could say, wenn das Wetter schlecht war, comma. And then my next idea, fuhr ich mit dem Bus zur Schule. Getting your verb position correct, getting your word order correct is important at exam level. Look out for, first and foremost, that your verb is in the correct position. And when you use these conjunctions, is what I'm dealing with today, is you must make sure that the conjunction that you're using is the one here. Or I must remember that the ones here throw the verb to the end of the statement. Wenn ich krank bin, bleibe ich zu Hause. Ich bleibe zu Hause, wenn ich krank bin. Wenn ich krank war, blieb ich immer zu Hause. Ich blieb immer zu Hause, wenn ich krank war. I always used to stay at home whenever I was ill. So there's examples of that. If you want to take a photograph of some of those sentences, do so now. Moving on. Beispiel 2. This is now wann. Now wann also means when. But it doesn't mean if, and it doesn't mean whenever. It means when. But it's a when requiring a date or a time. So, wann hat Peter Geburtstag? And then, ich weiß nicht, wann Geburtstag hat. See what the verb is after that? It's a conjunction here. When it's used as a conjunction, it will throw the verb to the end. Now remember that. When it's used, wann. Here we had, wann hat Peter Geburtstag? That's the question. But here it's used as a conjunction. So, ich weiß nicht, wann Geburtstag hat. And the verb goes to the end. You will get used to it. It's just that you have to do it quite often to get used to it. If you don't do it often, you won't get used to it. So my advice to you with these conjunctions is to use them as often as you can. Give every opportunity so that you will actually get better at it. Next one. Wann kommt Maria? Ich weiß nicht, wann sie kommt. I don't know when she's coming. Wann kommt der Zug an? When is the train arriving? Ich bin mir nicht sicher, I'm not sure, wann ankommt. Now look at again a separable verb. When it goes to the end of the sentence, it remains, the whole verb remains together. It doesn't separate. And that's an important thing to remember. Third point, als refers to a completed action in the past. Watch out for the tense of your sentence if you have to do a grammar section. And is it a completed action in the past or is it a continuous action in the past? Watch for that. Watch for the clues if you're doing a grammar section. When you're actually writing something or talking about something, you don't have to be watching for clues because hopefully you will have it already organized in your head. Here's my stuff. Als ich in der Stadt war, habe ich einen Pullover gekauft. When I was in town, I bought a jumper. Now that was just, for example, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I bought a jumper. It was just one moment in time. That's what a completed action in the past. And you use als for that. Als ich bei meiner Oma war, habe ich im Garten gearbeitet. When I was with my granny, I worked in the garden. And that was just at that, maybe that afternoon. It wasn't every afternoon. It wasn't every afternoon in the past. It was just that particular afternoon, no other afternoon. So then it was als. Ich habe im Garten gearbeitet, als ich bei meiner Oma war. And the verb is at the end, but it's used as a conjunction. Now, I have a bit of an Übung, and I wonder, can you do it? Ich gehe schwimmen. Das Wetter ist schön. Have a go. Which one are you going to use? Is it wenn, wann, or als? Does it mean if? or whenever? Am I looking for a time? Is there a time involved? Or is it a one action in the past? Have a go. And I'm going to write the answer here. Ich gehe schwimmen, wenn das Wetter schön ist. Now, there you have it. Now, can anyone switch it around the other way? Have a go. Don't just sit there looking at this video. Get yourself into action mode so that you can do it. So, you would start with, wenn das Wetter schön ist, comma, and I have to have a verb now because it's the second idea, gehe ich schwimmen. Did you get it right? Ich ging immer zum Arzt. Ich hatte Grippe. Now, which are you going to use? Wenn, wann, or als? Now, my clue there is immer, something you always used to do in the past. Now, immer might not be there all the time. You could have an apple, so you could have anything, or nothing at all, in fact. But I'm giving you immer to give you a clue. I always used to go to the doctor when I had the flu. So then, when am I going? Something a continuous action in the past, which would be whenever, and that's going to be then. So how is it going to look? What would you think? Have you already done it in your head? Wenn ich Grippe hatte, comma, ging ich immer zum Arzt. Now, one way of doing it. Now, what was the other? Have you got it? I could start with ich ging immer zum Arzt. Ich ging immer zum Arzt, comma, wenn ich Grippe hatte. I always used to go to the doctors when I had the flu. See how it's done? Now, immer might not always be there, but there'll be other clues to tell you that it was a continuous action in the past, and you used wenn for that, meaning whenever or if. Ich ziehe einen Anorak an. Das Wetter ist kalt. Now, I'm sure you can do this one now. I'm absolutely convinced you can do this. So, wenn das Wetter kalt ist, yes, my verb, second idea, ziehe ich einen Anorak an. I wear an anorak or a jacket. Now, can you do it the other way around? Can you? Have a go. Now, don't just sit there. Have a copy out. Jot it down. Because the more you do this, the better. Ich ziehe einen Anorak an, wenn das Wetter kalt ist. Done. Es regnet, ich fahre mit dem Bus. Wenn es regnet, comma, don't forget your comma always. Now, what do I need? The verb is at the end. I need a verb. Now, my second idea is on my Nebensatz. So, fahre ich mit dem Bus. Have you got it now? Or could you nearly do it on your own? Ich kaufte Bonbons, ich hatte Geld. Now, I used to buy sweets whenever I had the money or if I had the money. So then, what's that going to be? An obvious answer now is going to be ich kaufte Bonbons. I used to buy sweets. No, I didn't put the always there. Wenn ich Geld hatte. You could easily have said what else? Wenn ich Geld hatte, kaufte ich Bonbons. Either way, you can just turn it around. Now, what have we got here? Something different. Ich habe keine Ahnung, der Film fängt an. The film starts. I have no clue. I want to be able to say, I have no clue when the film starts. So, it's a time I'm looking for. So, am I going to use wenn? Am I going to use wann? Am I going to use als? Well, when means if or whenever. That's not going to suit there. Als is one particular time in the past, in the perfect tense usually. So now, that means I'm looking for a time. So that's wann. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wann der Film anfängt. Notice again, separable verb comes together at the end. Weißt du, der Bus kommt an. So the next one would be, weißt du, wann der Bus ankommt. Then wann, you're looking for a time. Now, will separate the men from the boys, or the girls from the women. Ich habe Vera kennengelernt, ich war in Köln. This is one action in the past. It only happened exactly at the point of time when you were in Cologne or in Köln. So if a single action in the past, not a continuum, then I'm going to use my word for when is going to be als. Ich habe Vera kennengelernt, als ich in Köln war. Now this one could be taken either way, as used to, or just one action in the past. But I'm going to use it here as a continuous action in the past. So as Otto used to read a lot whenever he was staying with us. Otto las viel, wenn bei uns war. That's wenn, wann, and als sorted. So now, if you're tired now, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to teach a bit more. Are you ready for the last one of the wenn, wann and als? Wir sind am Montag ins Kino gegangen, die Prüfungen waren fertig. Now, this is a single action in the past. Wir sind am Montag, we went on Monday, where to, ins Kino gegangen, als when die Prüfungen fertig waren. Now you can say that in different ways as well, but the point I'm making here is when, and in the past tense using the perfect tense. Weil, meaning because. Another verb, one that throws the verb to the end, is another subordinate conjunction, throws the verb to the end. Ich gehe zum Arzt, weil ich krank bin. Zum Lesen brauche ich eine Brille, weil ich kurzsichtig bin. Otto ist eingeschlafen. He fell asleep, weil müde war, because he was tired. Kurzsichtig means short-sighted, by the way. And eine Brille, in case you don't know, are glasses. Arzt to the doctor, wir try eine Übung. Ich lerne viel. Ich will gute Noten in der Abschlussprüfung bekommen. Where's my verb? Oh, I see it. Will. Right, that's the one that's going to be the last word after. So, ich lerne viel, and now weil. My first verb is going to be my last verb. My first verb is will. Weil ich gute Noten in der Abschlussprüfung will. Meine Cousine kommt zu Besuch. Sie hat Sommerferien. So we get as far as the weil. Meine Cousine kommt zu Besuch. She comes on a visit. My cousin. Then I put in my weil. Right? Now hash can't be next, so that goes at the end. Weil sie Sommerferien hat. Ich fahre in die Stadt, ich habe eine Verabredung. Okay, what we got here? I go as far as get it all started. Start it all up. Ich fahre in die Stadt, weil ich, now my verb here is habe, that goes at the end. Eine Verabredung hat. So there you have that. And the weil is there, weil ich eine Verabredung hat. Ich kaufe viele Geschenke. Es ist bald Weihnachten. Okay, we get as far as the weil, and I give you time to give me the answer. Ich kaufe viele Geschenke, weil es, my verb there is ist, that will be the last word. So that weil es bald Weihnachten ist. Ich gehe zu Fuß in die Schule, weil, now, my verb is kommt, that will be the last word, weil der Bus nicht kommt, because the bus doesn't come. So there you have weil, and it throws the verb to the end. And again, just pick out when you're doing your sentence, especially with the grammar section, or especially if you're doing your homework, you're writing an essay or something like that. Just, oh yeah, I've got while now, and my last word in my sentence can only be a verb. It can't be anything else. Während. This means whilst. Ich habe viele Bücher gekauft. Ich war in der Stadt. Okay, what could I write here? Ich habe viele Bücher gekauft, während ich in der Stadt war. I bought lots of books whilst I was in town. Whilst. Während. Remember, während has another meaning of during, but in this particular context, it means whilst, and my verb is here. Ich habe meine Hausaufgaben gemacht. Die Lehrerin hat über Goethe gesprochen. I wonder how many of you have already thought of the answer already. Remember, after während, my verb must be the very last word. So, ich habe meine Hausaufgaben gemacht, now während die Lehrerin, now I can't use hat, that has to be last. So now I'm going to go straight into über Goethe gesprochen hat. And remember, there's my verb, and that has to go last after während. So I did my homework whilst the teacher was talking about Goethe. Not a very good idea. Not a good idea, but has happened. Ich saß am Schreibtisch. I was sitting at my desk, as I am now. Mein Vater erzählte von dem Unfall. Right, so this is an interesting one. Ich saß am Schreibtisch. I was sitting at my desk. Whilst mein Vater, oh, now I'm coming up to my verb. I can't use it. I have to avoid it. Von dem Unfall, the accident, erzählte, whilst my father was telling about the accident. Relating. Erzählen. Got it? I think most of you at this stage, because we've done quite a few of them, will be getting it. Ich unterhielt die Gäste. That means I was entertaining the guests. Now again, während. Now I could use machen here or kochte. Während meine Mutter Kaffee kochte or machte, any one of those would do. I was entertaining the guests while my mother was making the coffee. And where was it? Only at the end. And my last one I decided to use was a separate verb, keep you on your toes. Ich machte meine Hausaufgaben, während mein Vater fernsah. There we have that one. And again at the end, and separate verb comes together. I'm decided to use this. Sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. And that's Mama, darf ich mitkommen? Mama, can I come with you? Nein, no, du wartest im Auto. You wait in the car. I'll come back. So now, ich komme zurück. So, nein, du wartest im Auto, bis ich zurückkomme. See that? Separate verb again. I've used another separate verb just to keep you on your toes in the next one. Ich bleibe in der Schule, bis der Bus, now my verb is last, but it's a separate verb and it's together. I'm getting close to the end now, but remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. I keep at you now because I really need to have all these subscribers. Mein Bruder wartet zu Hause und der Briefträger kommt. Mein Bruder wartet zu Hause, bis der Briefträger kommt. Verb at the end, last word. The one bit of advice I'm going to give you about these conjunctions, you must know that they throw the verb to the end. Now, there's only one way of knowing them. Either you learn them off by heart and can take them out of a drawer in your head, or you take out 5 or 6 at a time and use those constantly until you get them into your head. If you think you're going to have it all done the night before the exam, now that's a different story. But my advice to you is get on with this and work over time and have your strategy for learning these. dass ich weiß, dass er, I can't use kommt now, so I have to put spät, and then I can use kommt. Es ist schade, Peter ist krank, so I start off. Es ist schade, the pity, dass Peter, I can't use ist yet, but it has to be my last word, krank ist. What have we got here? Es ist nett von Peter, hilft seinem Freund bei der Arbeit. It's nice of Peter, he helps his friend with the work. So, es ist nett von Peter, dass er seinem Freund bei der Arbeit hilft. You could use other conjunctions that would also be suitable there. I'm just using das now. We've survived it. We've got to the end. Thanks again, Zoe. All the help that you've given as usual. Vielen Dank, Zoe. And das wäre es für heute von German Made Easy from Scratch. Vielen Dank nochmals und bis zum nächsten Mal beim German Made Easy from Scratch.